Do not under any circumstances attempt what I'm about to do. You will blow yourself up and injure innocent bystanders. I have a gas problem. I have lots of propane in this tank, but none in this tank. So I'm going to attempt to transfer some gas out of the big tank into the small cylinder. To do this, I need a few tools. I need a bathroom scale, an adjustable wrench, and a copper line with propane fittings on each end. I also need a source of cool water. At ambient temperature and atmospheric pressure, propane is in gas form. But when it's pressurized, it turns into a liquid. That's why it's stored in these high pressure tanks. What I'm going to do is connect this large tank to the small tank, and then to make the gas transfer from one to the other, I'm going to cool this tank. If we know our laws of physics, we know that cooling a gas makes it contract, thus creating a lower pressure in the small tank than the big tank, causing the propane to transfer from one to the other. I've connected the small tank to the large tank with this high pressure line, and I've placed the small tank on a scale. That's because one of the main dangers of doing this is overfilling this small tank. If we fill the tank too much and then the tank gets warm, it can explode. This is a 20-pound cylinder, which means that it holds 20 pounds of propane. It has a tare weight of 19.1 pounds. That means when it's filled, the total weight of the propane and the cylinder will be 39.1 pounds. So I'm going to watch the scale as I fill the tank, and when it gets to be around 35 pounds indicated on my bathroom scale, that's where I'm going to stop, because I do not want to risk overfilling this tank. So I'll turn on the valves. And because this tank is warmer than this tank, we can hear the gas moving from one tank to the other. In a moment, the pressure will equalize, and that's where the cool water comes in handy. It's been a few moments, and the transfer of gas has stopped because the pressure is equal now in the big tank and the little tank. This doesn't do me any good because very little propane has transferred. But if I put cool water on the tank, we'll hear it start again. And if we keep this tank cooler than the large tank, gas will continually transfer from one to the other, and as it transfers into this tank, it will turn to liquid. So all we need to do now is wait. I'm going to watch my scale and wait until it gets to about 35 pounds. Depending on the temperature differential of the big tank to the small tank, it could take anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour and a half or more to transfer the 20 pounds from one tank to the other. So I'm just going to keep the water on the small tank and continually watch my scale, waiting for it to reach about 35 pounds. It's been about 1 hour. I've gone and done some other chores around the house, and it looks like my scale is indicating 35 pounds, which is what I was after. The tank isn't completely full, but I'm erring on the side of caution because this isn't the most accurate scale. So I'm going to remove the water, and before I shut the valve, I'm going to loosen, I don't know if you can see it, there's a little screw right here which is connected to a tube that extends down into the tank, and this is the way they fill the tanks at the gas station. They just open this screw and they fill it until liquid comes out of this screw that indicates it being full to capacity. They don't weigh them when you have the tanks filled at the gas station. So just as an extra safety measure, I'm going to make sure that only vapor comes out of this screw. And that looks good. So that's further indication that I'm not overfilled. And now I can shut off the valves. And disconnect the transfer line. These are reverse thread. And that's how you pass gas from one tank to another. Thanks for watching.